colleagues, Council of Young Scientists of Karazin National University silently congratulations you on Science Day. Karazin University is one of the best universities in Ukraine and Europe. It harmoniously combines classical science, powerful scientific schools, creativity and innovation. More than 900 young scientists work on scientific development and research in our alma mater. Francis Bacon said, "The knowledge is power, and power is knowledge." And in extremely difficult time, young scientists of Karazin University are working in the heart of Kharkiv city on solving such important issues for our state as biotechnology, nuclear physics, research of society and the relations of human potential of Ukraine, information technology, the banking sphere and the development of economy, modern medicine, youth policy in the condition of war, environmental projects. Kharkiv is a powerful and strong city, a frontier city, and the young scientists of Karazin University firmly hold the scientific and educational fronts. The world for them is ambitious, talented, and brave.
We are in the laboratory of molecular phylogenetics and evolution of our department. We work here on various topics of molecular evolution, phylogenetics and biodiversity of invertebrate animals with the special emphasis on leeches, mollusks and crustaceans. We use both traditional morphological approaches here using advanced microscopical equipment, and we also use advanced methods of molecular phylogenetics, molecular evolution to delimitate species and to describe new species for science. So we invite everybody to study and to do research with us. Thank you for your attention.
Currently, I am working on a data analysis and modeling of nuclear elastic and inelastic scattering of alpha particles on heavy atomic nuclei, such as lead, nickel, tin, and others. Interaction of hadrons with atomic nuclei are an important source of information about the structure of nuclei and the mechanisms of nuclear interaction. Back in the middle of 20th century, Pechbach, Porter, and Weisskopf proposed an optical model of nuclear scattering. This approach became the basis for calculating the coefficients and the parameters of devices that use modern nuclear technologies, such as nuclear reactors, devices for nuclear medicine, and nuclear weapons. In this approach, hadronic nuclear scattering is considered as the analog of light wave, scattered by a spherical drop of liquid with certain values of refractive index and the absorption coefficients. The optical model of nuclear scattering has proven to be a powerful theoretical tool for describing a large number of experimental data. However, this model doesn't take into account a significant number of important parameters of the nuclei, such as shell structure or others. An alternative approach for describing the hadron-nuclear interaction using the scattering matrix was proposed by a university group of scientists. This approach allows to obtain fairly simple analytical expressions of the observables, such as the amplitudes and reaction cross-sections. It makes it possible to clarify the physical content of the model parameters and the dependence of values on parameters of the scattering matrix. We consider Fraunhofer and Fresnel patterns of nuclear scattering, rainbow scattering during the nuclear collisions, quantum interference during the scattering of micro-objects, the influence of the internal structure of nuclei on a cross-section, and their application to hadron scattering on nuclei with a cluster structure. I believe that continuation of fundamental nuclear research is the basis for sustainable energy and defense capability of the country in the future.
The development of the energy industry today and always is a guarantee of the country's energy security and therefore its security in general. The department has two main areas of activity: education and science. The educational component is the training of highly qualified specialists in applied physics and energy, which are able to solve the entire range of problems in the energy industry. Scientific tasks and applied problems of finding new sources, rationalizing the use of existing sources, and maintenance of energy systems dictate the constant demand for graduates of our department. Our students get fundamental physical and mathematical education. Along with this, they master the modern basics of informational technologies: programming in all its forms, web, desktop, embedded, neural networks, databases, and processing of large sets of data. Also modeling of complex physical processes, digital and analog electronics. Such a set of knowledge allows one to successfully and fruitfully work in research institutions, in science-intensive production, and in the IT field. The scientific interests of the department are aimed at solving both theoretical and practical problems of transformation, transmission, storage, and use of energy. The main focus of the scientific activity of the department is theoretical and experimental research of physical and energetical processes, as well as computer modeling of their flow. The department designs software and hardware solutions for monitoring and diagnostics of energy systems, optimizing the operation of energy complexes, automated control of physical processes in traditional in green energy. I am sincerely sure that the scientific and educational activities of our department will be useful for both Ukraine and the world.
The two main directions of work in the School of Chemistry are education and science. A key element of educational work is the training of highly qualified specialists in the field of chemical disciplines: organic, physical, analytical, inorganic, pharmaceutical, quantum chemistry, physico-chemical research methods, and molecular modeling. The annual demand for professional chemists, graduates of the Faculty of Chemistry, is very high. Most of the graduates are employed and work in leading companies of Ukraine and the world. The scientific component of the work consists in the implementation of applied and fundamental developments according to state and commercial projects. The search and design of new materials with programmed properties that can benefit society will always be an inexhaustible source of interest in the chemical sciences. International cooperation deserves special attention. The School of Chemistry is a partner of universities and scientific institutions in Europe and Americas, like University of Lille, University of Nizza, and Toulouse. Academic mobility is implemented annually for double masters and postgraduate programs. One of the key issues now is the possibility of going abroad for short-term scientific internships of teachers who have official reservations. This will allow to expand Ukraine's scientific position in the world and provide an opportunity to attract grants.
Sociological research during the wartime is not simply about studying society. It is not. This is an attempt to find approaches to understanding society, approaches to researching society, approaches to managing society, approaches to living in society in condition of radical changes, in condition of the war. And here are just a few examples of the scientific developments we are involved in 2023. First of all, the Fossil project, fostering the urban food system transformation through innovative living labs and implementation. This is our big international research project that's supported by the European Union and the program Horizon 2020, which is based on the development of urban food plans in their local condition for the aim of achieving a comprehensive and safe holistic transition to a healthy, sustainable, safe, inclusive and cost-effective food system. And actually, during the last year, in the condition of the war, this project was transformed into the study of the problems of food inequality and food safety, as well as a creating of support network in wartime Kharkiv. One more project, SmartPL. It's a new international project for us of the Erasmus Plus program, in which employees of the School of Sociology and our scientific group also participating. The project is aimed to implement a model of personalized learning based on the virtual learning environment of intellectual tutoring, so-called learning without limitations. What is it about? First of all, intelligent tutoring is a set of training tools, smart online platform for virtual personalized training and formative assessment of students, and co-working center with equipment for organizing, first of all, a hybrid type of learning. Hybrid type of learning which increases the efficiency of educational process and gives much more opportunities to both to teachers and students. And learning without limits means that all students are welcome, regardless of their age, personality, socioeconomic status, or educational needs, whether or not they can be in the classroom or not. Also, one more project that's called Gender Studies and Challenges of War in University Sustainability in Ukraine, Network for Excellence in Teaching and Institutional Development. This is quite an important project with four international partners, among them Shevchenko University, a Gender Studies Center of Ilya State University, the Gender Studies Center of the European Humanitarian University, and Gender Studies Program of Lund University, with the significant support and financial support of the Swedish Institute for this and the next year. What is this about? First of all, the aim is to develop a network for gender research scholars, a course on gendered society, and the aim is to create a digital platform for gender research scholars. And main idea is to help to Ukrainian university to develop their gender strategy and achieve the aim about it. One more project, the future of public administration. Project that's implemented within the framework of the Good Governance and Cross-Border Cooperation Program, which is co-financed by the European Economic Area Financial Mechanism and the state budget of the Slovak Republic. The goal of the project is to provide training of experts for state institutions of two countries, of Ukraine and Slovakia, through the cooperation of two local universities. First of all, project participants are creating a platform for exchange opinion with some interested expert audience from these two countries. Who are these audience? This is students, teachers, experts, public organizations, etc. And all this regarding the public integrity, accountability, honesty, and achieving greater interest in the transparency of the public sector that is quite important nowadays. And main idea is the open access to the information. I'm sure that all these projects are necessary for the successful development of the Ukrainian states, and we are sure that we will have really scientifically significant results.
Human geographers of Karazin University actively cooperate with leading scientists of European University, in particular from Poland, Romania, Czech Republic, Estonia, Spain, including under the Erasmus+, Jean Monnet, Science for Peace and Security programs. During this year, work was started in international scientific project. Grant project for conduction on advanced research workshop, achieving sustainability in Ukraine through military brownfields redevelopment, under the NATO program Science for Peace and Security, jointly with the University of Oradea, Romania. Research and grant features of the transport infrastructure development of Kharkiv and Warsaw, within the framework of the Norwegian-Polish project Comobility, joined with the Institute of Infrastructure, Transport and Mobility of the Warsaw School of Economics. Human geographers of Karazin University work on researching current problem of society. the issue of the development of communities and territories, the spatial and functional organization of the cities, the post-war restoration of the urban environment, in particular within the framework of the co-urbanism project, with the emphasis on rethinking the development of Ukrainian cities, the formation of alternative scenarios of spatial transformation that are intensifying of social, cultural, economic, environmental changes. We also participated in the working of the Kharkiv development strategy and plans for its post-war reconstruction. Participated in the project to identify regional policies of growth jointly with the Ministry of Development of Communities and Territories of Ukraine. The issue of migration, including forced migration, its socio-spatial models, integration problems and consequences of territorial population redistribution. The formation of human potential at all territorial levels, which lies in the sphere of national security of Ukraine. The issue of post-war reconstruction is a new challenge for independent Ukraine. And given the intensive process of European integration, the support of international partners, the possibility of implementing world experience and best practices, the process of recovery and reconstruction after the victory should take place quickly and efficiently. The resilience of human potential in the face of today's challenges, the Ukrainians' motivation for the post-war restoration for the motherland will become the driver for Ukrainians' rapid development and provide each with opportunities to integrate into European community.
Over the past decade, higher education in Ukraine has been restructured within the aim of integrating into the European educational space in accordance with the principles of student-centered learning, quality assurance, accessibility and inclusion. The basis for the construction of the European educational space is language competence. It is indispensable for the mobility, cooperation and mutual understanding of people who are separated by barriers, providing them with a wider and more diverse educational experience. According to the results of surveys of young specialists, 95% of respondents do not have a certificate confirming the level of foreign language proficiency. However, almost 90% are aware of the need to learn foreign languages in the modern world to achieve different goals. Thus, within the framework of the study, their readiness for bilingual learning plays a significant, if not decisive role. That is why the university has introduced a strategy of multilingualism, thanks to which Karazin National University is to become an open multilingual academic community. Particular attention is paid to the training of specialists in the military, legal and medical fields, who, like no other, nowadays need to know as many foreign languages as possible. Language courses are designed to meet the needs of military personnel, lawyers, medical workers in practical English language skills in order to communicate during joint international military events, various operations, peacekeeping missions, joint exercises and the provision of humanitarian assistance. Our project is implemented in the International Center for Language Training and Certification. Both representatives of our university and specialists from all over Ukraine can undergo training at any level and receive a certificate of confirmation. Foreign languages are a way to expand the horizons of scientific research and a way to present your achievements to the whole world.
What does it mean to be an entrepreneur? Visit places that no one dared to reach. Drive without rules whenever possible. Change the world around you. Take responsibility for the destruction. Live in the face of uncertainty to create a new reality. Be strong when others are weak. Keep believing when everyone is desperate. Pave the way for the future when the reward is still ahead. What does it mean to be a scientist? Continue to work despite being tired. Ask questions of tomorrow. Set tasks and go to the end. Work your way up with others in mind. What unites science and entrepreneurship? Entrepreneurship has a nature to explore, and science concerned with the innovations and risk. It was this similarity that inspired us to start a research on the social value of science-oriented entrepreneurship, trying to find answers to questions: can a business bring more value than profit? Can a university cover more than education and science? What is the effect of university-business cooperation? What is the best way to organize this cooperation? We focus our efforts to develop the latest business models that create the value for the society, business models that contribute to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, business models that think about others, pave the way for the future when rewards are still ahead.
I'm currently working on my research project called Glassware of the Chernihiv culture in Ukraine. In addition, I'm an assistant at the research lab of the Germanic-Slavonic Archaeological Expedition. This is a structural department of the School of History with Professor Mikhail Lyubichev in charge. With my colleagues, we are studying the material culture of the late Roman population of the Dnipro-Don watershed. This region is mainly limited by the borders of modern Kharkiv province in eastern Ukraine. The first Germanic influences can be traced here in the early first millennium, but the greatest scope they reached in the late Roman time with the migration of bearers of the Chernihiv culture, which is associated with the Gothic alliance of the barbarian tribes. At the peak of its subsistence, which was obviously connected with the establishment of successful relations between Goths and neighboring Roman Empire, the Chernihiv culture covered almost the entire territory of modern Ukraine, Moldova and Romania. For a long time, our perception of barbarian societies was constructed exceptionally by written sources. Ancient authors pictured them as quite primitive, undeveloped tribes with a number of strange and sometimes even revolting customs. It's difficult to accuse the ancient Romans of distorting reality. They describe the barbarians in the way they imagined them. Meanwhile, archaeological research into the material culture of late Roman times in Eastern Europe reveals a completely different picture and breaks down some of the cliches associated with barbarians. Recent investigations show us the population of the Chernihiv culture as very intelligent, adventurous and enterprising people who copied and imitated Roman coins, produced high-quality goods like well-made pottery, jewelry and even glassware using imported raw materials, and took an active part in trade within the Black Sea region. Archaeological research continues to reveal new aspects of life of the barbarian societies. We are now working on a project to create an open-air museum, a Gothic village in the vicinity of the huge Chernihiv site in Vytenki, in the southwest of the Kharkiv region, where we have been conducting field research since 2004. I think that in the near future, this place will become an attractive point to both scientists and ordinary tourists.
Russian full-scale military invasion of Ukraine on February 24, 2022, the shelling of our country with missiles, artillery, etc., led to the fact that millions of civilians were forced to flee their homes for their lives. Millions of Ukrainians became refugees in various European countries, a large part of them feeling love for their motherland, a connection with their native country, and worrying about their relatives and loved ones who have not left the country anywhere, are trying in various ways to help bring the victory of Ukraine closer. Almost 100 years ago, in the 1920s, under the influence of the attack on our lands by the army of Soviet Russia, many Ukrainian refugees ended up in Europe. One of the centers of the Ukrainian emigration during this period became France, an important European country that played and continued to play an important role in the international political arena. In the 24, 1926, the government of Ukrainian People's Republic in exile was located in its capital, Paris. Undoubtedly, many people tried to help their motherland in 1920s as well, but a more comprehensively study of these aspects is necessary. How many of all Ukrainian immigrants in Paris was really interested in affairs in Ukraine and took part in order to organize help for their motherland, first of all in the realization of political aspirations? What were the dynamic of this and what influenced it? What methods did Ukrainian migrants and their association use to achieve their goals? Finally, what positive cases can we single out in this context? And what did not have really effect? What problems prevent from achievement at least some quality results? The identified practices that worked and didn't work in those difficult times can be taken into account during the modern construction of Ukrainian interaction with temporary displaced persons and forced migrants. There is no doubt that Ukrainians in Paris, as well as in whole France, can become powerful promoters of our country, its support, especially in the medium and long term. And their effectiveness will increase even more if effective cooperation and coordination of actions between our forced temporary migrants and official representatives of Ukraine will be established.